64. The Tao is the prime mover, the unmoving essence from which all existence manifests. As the inexhaustible mother bringing forth infinite variety, the Tao renders each part of all being unique and original. In the silence before the first word, in the darkness before the first light, the story has infinite possibility. When the mind is silent, empty, and untethered, the ways to be one with the Tao are endless. Through time and circumstance, people become tangled in structure, form, and their own particular story. To transcend form, to engage the timeless, unravel the knots of the separations that make you unique and complex. Simplify, silence the chattering of the mind. Return home to oneness. Creating order from nothing is easier than structuring chaos. All doing heads the way of its own demise. Be wary of anticipation. Avoid what has yet to arrive, but be ready when it does. When the moment is right, start tasks early while things are manageable. Remember, the longest journey begins with a single step. The tallest tree sprouts from a tiny seedling. Even a 9-story tower has roots. When reality becomes still, it is easy to hold. It is we who disturb tranquility by pulling form from the formless. Attachments fuel distance from the Tao. Meddling and manipulation reveal discomfort with what is so. The larger the ship, the wider the turn. The faster the travel, the more distance it takes to stop. All motion is forward. Unringing the bell is not an option. Make haste slowly. Observe how flowers open at their own pace. At the moment of success, people often become impatient, letting their best efforts come apart. Be consistent. Finish strong. Give the beginning and end equal attention. A problem at the start can be overcome. At the finish, problems can be devastating. Rigidity is never a good defense. Fear is even worse. That which is fluid endures. Flexibility strengthens and protects. The small can be pushed aside. The frail and feeble can be dissolved. The sage desires that for which there is no desire. Learning to unlearn, teaching what cannot be taught. She values the common. She shuns the rare and precious. She awakens people to treasures they already possess, reminding people who they have always been. The sage connects truth to being and being to empowerment. She invests everything in non-being, from which everything manifests. Her humility affects everything without anyone noticing at all. Invest in process, not outcomes. Journeys, not destinations. Wherever there is investment, there is risk. Without investment, there is nothing to lose. '65. When time first began, the ancient masters of the Tao held the light close, shielding people from knowledge and wisdom, keeping enlightenment at bay. They taught people to be simple, naive, and uninformed. Knowledge feeds confidence, sophistication, ambition. Lack of sophistication nourishes innocence. People become unruly when they know too much. When leaders are cunning, rules and slogans tell people what to do. People stop thinking for themselves. The nation becomes divided. When leaders are trustworthy, people trust their hearts and minds. They respect differences as the language of one love. This is called the natural order of virtue. Knowledge cuts oneness apart, making value and virtue commodities. It is wise to know this. Governing by natural order instills compassion and good fortune. When craftiness and manipulation are tolerated, charlatans deprive the nation of prosperity and potential. It is a challenge to lead people to goodness and virtue. Who can be trusted with the truth? When people think they have the answers, it is difficult to inspire them. Wherever they go, they are filled with confidence. When people know they don't know, they develop skills to find the way. Questions come forth like waters from a spring. One who cultivates uncertainty learns to navigate uncharted territory. One who approaches others according to the Tao appreciates the virtue inherent in another's being. To lead effectively, embrace the solitude of being one with the Tao. Avoid the clever, the sophisticated, and those invested in outcomes. To follow effectively, listen, be still. Great plans are built upon the structures of simple points that can be explained clearly. Strive for simplicity. Shun complexity and sophistication. Let what you do and who you are exemplify how people can awaken their own true nature. The natural order of virtue is deep and far reaching, flowing through everything like water, the way the Tao makes all existence what it is. '66. However difficult the path, all rivers return to the sea, nourishing everything along the way. The low welcomes the high. Silence yields to sound. The wise leader listens to the waters, cultivating humility as the soil that receives the waters flowing from the source, as the ground upon which he builds his home, as the earth he tends in serving the community. He learns different paths by walking in the shoes of others. He inhabits the community. People can tell when shoes don't fit. To govern effectively, the wise leader draws people toward him through words they speak themselves, through actions they do themselves, through feelings they know themselves. No one contends with him because, like water, the wise leader engages the community as he would the Tao, by becoming one with the natural order and serving it. Like birds in formation, the wise leader ministers by following. With a clear view of what lies ahead, he directs without getting in the way. With a clear view of where they are, he chooses the path of service and follows natural order. Because the Tao yields boundless opportunities, the wise leader is never without ways to serve. To reveal the right path for the right time, he stops moving. He becomes still. He listens. Gravity, the Tao, and destiny express the 10,000 things. Everything adheres to natural order. '67. People talk about my Tao as if they know it. They say They have heard the Tao is powerful, emancipating. Perhaps what they witness, they desire for themselves. Perhaps it's because I reflect the Tao. I don't know. They say the Tao can't be all that great. It sounds too easy. So they talk about my Tao as rarefied, but impractical. I say, because the Tao is one with everything, it is common. It is great because it is common to everything. Oh, if people could only know. Freedom from attachments is empowering. The Tao isn't a commodity to be possessed or shared. If the Tao were not the one constant source for all being, it would change how it manifests through its expression. And along with the 10,000 things, it too would pass away. The Tao is unwavering presence, the source of change beyond change. While everything else comes and goes, the Tao endures, indifferent to feelings and perceptions. Because it arises through its manifestations, I follow the Tao by looking deeply into myself, by listening, by being still. There is nowhere else to go. Silence tells me all I need to know. The Tao lacks definition, but all existence is defined by it. All descriptions of the Tao are not the Tao. The Tao is empty of meaning, yet it gives everything purpose in the great web of being. Three treasures form the heart of my Tao's expression: love, simplicity, and humility. Love brings forth courage, affiliation, and trust, making fear pointless and harmless. Simplicity nurtures frugality and moderation, awakening infinite possibility, patience, and generosity. Humility draws me closest to the Tao, giving love for existence, personal relevance. Living low to the ground of being serves as my vessel to receive the waters nourishing life. Perhaps this is what others see. By living as one with my Tao, I serve all existence, reaping abundance without accumulating anything by simply creating life on the humble path of the Tao expressing itself. Humility is love in action. To be fearless without love engenders distrust, undermining the capacity to see a person's character. Being frugal and moderate without being simple is cheap, mean-spirited. To lead without humility subjugates others, gives rise to pretense, dooming life to separation from the oneness of the Tao. Where love determines the character of the conflict, there is honor in both victory and defeat. The Tao protects everyone. When the Tao, love, simplicity, and humility author the script for life, what else is there? '68. Great leaders govern without making haste, following natural order and the will of the people. Great leaders handle conflicts without becoming angry, achieving harmony without confrontation, feeding adversity, or making enemies. Opposition is not ground for adversity. In the best conflict, neither side is the enemy. The best competition produces healthy conflict. Aggression solves nothing. To manifest victory, it is unnecessary for one side to defeat the other. To transcend conflict, make natural order your companion. Learn the language of the Tao's flow and follow it. Great leaders look up to everyone from the ground of being, manifesting actions and perspectives that honor people. Great leaders respect the positions people have, bringing out the best in everyone. There is virtue in viewing confrontation as a window to see the goodness in others, as a mirror to reveal our own honest intentions. There is virtue in wanting your opponents to be on their best game, who challenge you to becoming the best you can be. There is virtue in rising above the competitive spirit. The ancient path has been worn smooth from years of service. The ancient path holds infinite ways to challenge and heal. The ancient path can be walked over and over and over again. The ancient path follows the Tao, but it is not the Tao. Great leaders are skilled in navigating paths, whatever their nature, knowing which paths to follow from wherever they are. By following the Tao, great leaders always find the way home. '69. Great warriors are skilled in following the path of prudence, avoiding action when non-action is sufficient to yield resolution, harmony, another day. They tell me, shun making the first move. Be the guest. Let your rival reveal himself first. They say, withdraw a foot before moving forward an inch. They remind me, patience is important, but timing is everything. Great warriors call this moving forward by letting action come your way. Stand your ground without armament and weapons. Slice through opposition as you would cut ignorance with your heart, your mind, not your blade. Fight with confidence, determination. Let your rival's energy seed his own undoing. Dress for the occasion and remember, the Tao offers superior protection more than anything. The Tao fits anyone who embraces it. The Tao will never wear you down. Whenever there is conflict, great warriors with nothing to lose will lose nothing. Great warriors who yield prevail. Great warriors with no enemy emerge victorious. How misfortunate to miscalculate conflict. Underestimating the enemy is no different than inflating yourself. To lead skillfully, know your assets, liabilities, and your mission. Be prepared to protect the three treasures of love, simplicity, and humility. Be transparent. Use them so people can see them. No weapon is as convincing as love. No strategy as effective as simplicity. No behavior as disarming as humility. To sabotage your best efforts, abandon the Tao. Engage conflict without the three treasures. To bring forth your best efforts, engage conflict listening to the Tao. '70. Anyone can understand my words. Anyone can follow what I say. Yet few gather the essence of my words, and virtually no one puts them into practice. Born from silence, my words pass through the occupied mind without so much as a notice. Yet, when one is ignorant and receptive, my words open doors of infinite possibility. My words are rooted in the soil of antiquity, so ancient that time itself is exhausted going back that far. I was there before the beginning. I was nothing before changes began to take place. I am nothing in the face of all manifestations. Actions disturb time before fading from consequence, having no lasting effect. Because I am still, I have the discipline to express everything. Because people do not recognize my expressions, they do not see me. Because people do not understand my words, they do not learn from me. Because people do not comprehend themselves, they do not know me. Few really know me. Those who do must be somewhere. But where? Those who carry me with them are often honored and celebrated, brokering fame in the community. There is much power in my words and expressions, even when I speak softly, even when I suffer misunderstanding and abuse. In spite of it all, I endure and protect everyone, wherever they are, in whatever they do. It is my nature to nurture the essence of all being. Whoever spends time pursuing me wears dust from the journey. Be careful of one who spends time polishing appearances. Too much care for the wrapping camouflages any treasure within. Look for one in tattered clothes who sees much and says little. Appearances deceive. Listen. My wisdom is available from one with jewels concealed in the cave of the heart. '71. To comprehend the incomprehensible, to approach the unapproachable, armed only with innocence. Not knowing brings forth worlds without fences or divisions, awakening journeys that go anywhere. Not knowing is the highest knowledge. With not knowing, for one who is wise, the horizons are boundless. Knowledge of one's ignorance is true strength. Without truly knowing one's own ignorance, no matter the knowledge, no person becomes wise. Distance from the Tao is a kind of disease, the fruits of knowledge and being part of the world. Illusions of separation and power seduce people into believing the world has no limits, that it can never be exhausted. A tragic misunderstanding. for only the Tao is without limit. All the Tao's manifestations come and go in patterns of endless impermanence, transience, and form. People see changes and imagine existence as a perpetually renewable resource, a commodity for use and to serve humanity. They think productivity, that the manifestations will never run out. A tragic miscalculation, for only the Tao endures. Distance from the Tao engenders the disease that only the oneness of the Tao can cure. Why pursue the allures of distance when everything is already one? The sage knows that to cure disease, collapse distance from the Tao by revealing distance and its disease for what they are. Fictions that reveal separations from oneness. The mind breaks wholeness into parts. Identities result from the attempt to isolate anything from the oneness of everything. Identities are constructions, fabrications, the carriers of the disease. The mind takes separate identities to be real. In the end, to recapture oneness and heal the split, the disease must be unlearned. In reality, there are no separations. There are no paths away from the Tao. There is only oneness. All else is fiction. To understand the disease that comes from pursuing distance from the Tao, unlearn the disease. Awaken wholeness, innocence, healing, and the Tao. '72. When people trust existence and have no fears of the world, forces greater than they can imagine will come forth. When people cease feeling awed by existence, they discover purpose, meaning, and value in everyday details. When people lose faith in existence, they find ways to orient themselves, making plans and activities for stability, for reference. When people lose confidence in themselves, social order becomes a priority, gaining authority in everyone's lives. People make rules and form religions, housing themselves according to what they believe. When the world they inhabit does not feel confining, vexation stays away. All beings are taught frames of reference. Over time, they become convinced the boundaries are true. Every nest fits its occupants. To instill harmony, avoid interfering in people's lives. Let the waters of ancestry flow freely and nourish. The sage tends his own garden, befriending the soil. He blends his yard into the community without drama or show, paving the way for him to be gracefully connected. The first step to building community is to be virtuous. He is a port along the path toward wisdom and well-being, yielding the way so people hardly notice him. When they do, he cloaks himself in humility, letting his garden do the talking. Whatever he is doing, he is always at home, approaching circumstances as a guest, meeting whatever arrives as if he is honored by all visitations. Nature is the home existence provides. When resistance is transcended, you never tire. Learn where you are and listen for affirmation. The Tao tells you where home is. If you never exhaust the capacity for existence to nurture you, the universe will sustain your journey. If you never tire of all the Tao brings forth, the possibilities to express your being will be endless.